What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. This is Hunter coming to you live on this absolutely finally beautiful Sunday with another episode of Hunting the Fish Pond. For today's location, I alluded to in the last video that depending on the weather, I was probably going to start heading north and covering some of those areas and see if I could get a little bit longer videos in the northern parts of Broome County, and then try to finish my excursion of Broome County before heading out to Tioga County and some of the surrounding areas that way. Hopefully I can do that during the summer. I got some plans laid out for what the next couple videos are gonna be, and I'm gonna try to bring them to you every Sunday, depending on how my work schedule goes. So as I stated, we decided to go a little bit north. For those of you who watched last week's video, I was in the small hamlet of West Corners. And today, instead of doing the video that I hinted at, I decided I was going to go a little bit more north and stop pretty much in the middle. So today's video is from the little hamlet known as Union Center. And for those of you who are not familiar with northern Broome County, Union Center is a hamlet in northern Broome County. It is located in the town of Union, and it's pretty much self-explanatory as to what kind of place Union Center is. It's not necessarily it's kind of a rest stop, if you will, between here and Endicott. And it's also a midway point between Whitney Point and Newark Valley, for those of you that are traveling south and west. Union Center is pretty much as small of an area as you can get. For Broome County, believe it or not, that actually isn't surprising, because as many big areas that Broome County has, there are plenty of very small ones. I do not plan to cover all of them, but I plan to cover most of the ones that are how do I say, more prominent, I guess you could say. So Union Center, as I mentioned, is pretty much the smallest of the small. It's known as a hamlet because it is too small to be incorporated as a village, and obviously it's not well known enough to be incorporated into another town, even though it is located in between the town of Union and the I think the next town over would be the town of Maine. Union Center was actually split off from the town of Union back in the 1800s, I believe, and like I said, was basically formed as a rest stop for people traveling either south or west. South from Whitney Point, and west into Newark Valley, and also people who are traveling north from Endicott to those locations. Union Center does not really have anything worth of prominence, which, being as small of a place as it is, not surprising at all. And the reason for that is because Union Center was meant to be, like I said a couple times now, a rest stop. So Union Center pretty much has a gas station. It has I believe it has two restaurants, right here, where I'm sitting in what they call the hub. They have a couple churches down the road. But the main prominence of Union Center, and the reason how the hamlet actually got its name, is because Union Center is on a road. It's actually on Route 26, but it is on a stretch of highway known as Union Center Main Highway. Now, the reason it was designated that is because Union Center is, as I stated, the resting stop between Endicott and Maine. And because Route 26 goes all the way up through, there isn't really anywhere to go after you leave Endicott. I think, not counting the one that I'm at right now, it's another, let's see, it's 16 miles to Whitney Point from here, and it is 5 miles to Endicott. So from here, it's another 5 miles, I believe, to the next gas station and pretty much rest stop. But it is also, no, actually it's 3 miles, because the next one is in West Corners, and it's actually another speedway. And then there's a grocery store, a couple other things. But from here, I believe the next gas station going north is at least 5 or 6 miles to the left before you get to anything. I'm pretty sure this area used to be an old canal bed. And obviously when the Shenango Canal was discontinued in the 1970s, this place became what it is today. And it's nice. I will give it that. It is very nice out here. It's very quiet, very desolate. Crime rates aren't that high. There's not much to do out here except for break into somebody's house, rob the local gas station or restaurant, but who would want to do something like that? Like, I mean, it's known to happen, so I'm not gonna say that it doesn't, but as far as the area, demographics wise, because of the fact that I couldn't find any information on it, I'm not sure what the population is. I'm pretty sure that Union Center as a whole has a very low population. Just because of the fact that, there's not much here. I mean, from where I'm sitting, I can see two houses, and, actually, no, I can see 3 houses, what looks like to be an apartment building, and then a couple more houses up that way. But other than that, there's not much out here people-wise. As I said, if you go like a certain distance, you're not even in Union Center anymore, depending on which direction you go. If you go south, you're back in West Corners and Endicott. If you go north, eventually you hit Maine and then Whitney Point. If you go west, you actually hit Newark Valley and Tioga County. And obviously you can't go east because there's no roads to go that way. So you can't really go that direction unless you go up the road and then take another road, which ain't nobody got time for that. But if I had to guess, population for Union Center, probably about maybe 300-400 people. Ballpark estimate. I know it's not really high. You know, it's a hamlet. It's not really populated. You know, which is why another reason why they designated it as a hamlet. So yeah, that's pretty much all I've got for you. I apologize if these videos seem like they're not very long anymore. It's just because of the fact that I try to go to the areas with the most prominence, and I'd say like 6 times out of 10 I usually go to ones that aren't you know, very exciting to talk about. Normally at the end of the videos, when I actually do talk about the area that I'm around, is the most exciting part of the video to talk about. But I will, without actually spoiling anything, tell you that the next video that I'm going to do is actually another town. I may or may not have hinted to earlier in the video, but I will talk about the town itself, and then I will also talk about the hamlet where I will be, and hopefully it's nice out and I can give you guys a little you know, I can do a little bit of a walk around and you know, show you guys the area that I'll be in. The only thing is I'll have to, I will have my kid with me. He's actually at his grandmother's for the Memorial Day weekend, so I'm able to do this video, but I'll have him, but I'm sure that I can find somewhere to go that I can keep him occupied, at least for a couple minutes, so that I can get out and do my video for you guys, and hopefully you guys will like it. So at this point, I'm going to step out of my vehicle and I'm going to show you guys the area of where I am at the moment. Trying my best not to get anybody on camera, because obviously, you know, people are kind of hesitant about that kind of stuff. So let's find here. All right, so over here, going east and west, or actually this is north and south, we actually have Route 26. Now, I had mentioned that this stretch of Route 26 is on the area known as the Union Center Main Highway. And while it's not that prominent of an area travel-wise, Union Center Main Highway actually does have a couple of, how do I want to say, I guess you would call them landmarks, that are, you know, respective to the area. Earlier in the video, I mentioned that there was a couple churches, and actually about a half-mile down the road here, there is an area known as the Union Center Main Highway Church, and I think it's a Methodist, you know, but that's actually, you know, that's pretty good that an area like this, you know, has its own designated church to itself. So that's pretty cool. As I also mentioned, Union Center Main Highway is pretty much its own thing. It has its own highway, pretty much named for it. I'm actually in the parking lot of the Speedway, which is also ironic to the area, because if you look up this address, it actually says on your map Union Center Main Highway. So I feel like that's also pretty cool in its own right. As I mentioned, this is the Speedway located in Union Center Main Highway, and this is the only other Speedway in this area. As I was talking about a couple minutes ago in the video, from here, depending on which direction you go, it's another 3 miles south before you hit a Speedway, and I believe it's 4 miles north before you hit another gas station up the road. Now that's north and south. If you go east, or not east, if you go west, unfortunately, it is, I believe, oh God, I don't even know, because it's 10 miles from here. 10 miles from here back to Newark Valley. So it's about 11 and a half miles to the next gas station if you're going back west. East, on the other hand, I'm not sure, because like I said, you can't really go east because there's not really anywhere to go unless you go north for about 1.5 miles, and then I think there's a road that goes through the mountain, but that's about it. I alluded to earlier that there are a couple houses in the area. This house across the street, I believe, is one of them. Not sure if it's an apartment or if it actually is a house. It looks like it's an apartment, but that's one of them. And then that's the apartment complex that I was talking about. Doesn't look like anybody lives there. I mean, it looks kind of empty. There's a sign on it that says now renting, so I'm guessing it's abandoned, but I wouldn't want to live here. The only advantage to living here is the fact that you got a gas station and a couple other things literally right across the street. And then directly next to that, there actually is a house that looks like it is lived in for, people in the area. This area, I feel like it would be prominent for people who travel between like here, Lockheed Martin, Amphenol, or whatever, big company, people feel like traveling to get to work and stuff. Also prominent to this area is the restaurant and gift shop. For those of you who are familiar with the Broome County area, may have heard about this place advertised quite frequently on the radio, but we have Our Country Hearts, which is a gift store, furniture store, and a restaurant. It took me a very long time, and by very long time, it took me almost my entire life to actually get out here to Our Country Hearts. I did it about 2 or 3 years ago. I don't remember how long, but it was quite a while ago now. They are a restaurant, and they are a furniture and a gift store. Very beautiful things. Most of which are handcrafted or handmade. The restaurant, the food is phenomenal, and one of these days when I get the time off and can get up this area, I plan on going back. Speaking of food, you have to forgive me, there's a couple motorcycles going by. Next door to the Our Country Hearts is the local, I guess you could say, deli mart and miniature golf course, which is very strange for the area, because for an area so small, I don't think I would expect a miniature golf course. But then again, said golf course, or miniature golf course I should call it. Now get this. This golf course has a market, a Cannon Bottle Redemption Center, a miniature golf course, and an ice cream stand, all in the same building. How bizarre is that? Bizarre in a good way, not in a bad way, but that is awesome. And they've also been in business for about 30 some years. Actually, both places have been in business for a very long time. And believe it or not, people actually do travel, you know, from other areas just to come to these places. I've actually talked to people who travel from, you know, from like Whitney Point, Owego, Endicott, Binghamton, Newark Valley, you know, all sorts of places just to go to Our Country Hearts and Jerry Tull's, you know, the ice cream parlor. And, you know, they just happen to be passing through. They go to the Speedway, you know, for something, whether it be a cold beverage, cold beverage, you know, a quick snack, get some gas or stuff like that. So, you know, that's pretty prominent for the area to have something like that, you know, that you can go to. Obviously, I know times are changing. Miniature golf isn't really a thing that much anymore, but it's nice because, you know, the kids have something to do during the summer. I mean, there's actually some people over there now, which also surprising, but then again, it is Memorial Day weekend. It's very nice out, and, you know, you want to do something with the family, so why not do, you know, why not do miniature golf? Get some ice cream, you know, turn in some cans and bottles if you need to, and, you know, just sit and enjoy the sunshine, the lovely weather, and everything that comes with it. Up here is the route that I had alluded to earlier, 38B, which if you head back this way to the west for about 10 miles, you actually end up back in Tioga County, and you actually end up in Newark Valley. In between, well, actually where that road actually drops you off is considered in Newark Valley, but it's actually the middle point between the town of Owego and the town of Newark Valley. So I feel like that's pretty cool because, you know, nobody, I mean, maybe people like driving on the highways. I don't at the moment, only because of the fact that I'm not particular of the construction that's going on the highway. So if I want to get out to a place like this, how would I do that living in Owego? Well, believe it or not, you know, there are plenty of ways to get through town. I mean, I personally know 7 different directions that I can go from Binghamton just to get back to my house in Owego. And one of which is actually this right here. I mean, it's a little bit out of the way. But you know, if it's a nice warm day, you have the family with you, want to just go for a drive and waste some time, drive through Binghamton, end up in Endicott, take a quick drive up Route 26, come out here to Union Center, take a left, go all the way up 38B, find yourself in back in between Newark Valley and Owego, and then you take yourself home. So, but that's all I've got for today's video. Again, we are chronicling the area conveniently known as the Union Center. And as I alluded to earlier, I'm going to be doing another video next Sunday, which will be a little more north, and hopefully I have a lot more to talk about than I did in this one. So with that being said, I'm going to end this video, and I'll see you guys on the next trip to the pond.